Yeah, it's just a guy that has so many red flags. The fact that Nick Saban said not a self-starter is crushing in NFL terms. He might as well just said like this guy should be in jail. I could not.
He wasn't suggesting he's a criminal, to be clear.
No. Hello and welcome back to Football 301. I'm your host, Nate Tice. We got a post-round one recap show here from the Yahoo offices in New York City. I am joined on Football 301, a four-man weave, not a three-man weave, a four-man brouhaha. We got Matt Harmon, Charles McDonald, and Andrew Siciliano, how the turntables. How now you just hosted us, and hopefully I get to host you for a little bit, but great little crossover here. How you doing, Andrew?
Guys? Long-time listener, first-time caller. This is awesome. It's good to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
I know. I didn't know we had a contest out for that. Someone got to spend 4 hours with us
I won!
to watch the draft, but it was great that Andrew won. I got to actually know the person. Chuck, how you doing, man?
I'm fine. You know,
it's been your hometown.
It's been a long day, but a good day. You know, we're just it's a little different covering the draft on the East Coast and the West Coast. So we've had a little more time. So I'm good, but I'm a little sleepy too.
It's like when the draft was in Vegas. I drove home from the Super Bowl was in Vegas and the draft. I drove home from the Super Bowl. You get to drive home from the draft,
I do.
or Subway or Uber.
Home.
Someone's driving.
Yeah, you know,
approved by Yahoo.
It's like when you're at home. It's like, man, I could just dip out now. But when you're in another city, man, I'll stay out till 4 o'clock in the morning.
I know. When the Super Bowl was in Vegas, that was kind of annoying. Yeah. It's a lot of 9 o'clock where it's like, I have to go home. I have kids at home. I have to wake up to. Matt, how you doing, man? We got the receivers off the board. We got 5 of them. Yeah. You said play the hits, but a lot of other picks too.
It was fun, man. It was a good night. And like I always say, I sometimes really enjoy the post-draft analysis more than the pre-draft analysis because we don't have to deal with the hypotheticals anymore. Like now we know where these guys are actually going to be playing, and we can judge whether we like it or not.
We start stewing on it. Let's do it right now. We're going to get into the biggest surprise of night one of round one. Matt, I'll just start with you. What was your biggest surprise of round one?
Yeah, I think Carnell Tate going to the Tennessee Titans was a surprise to me because I just didn't really hear a lot of buzz that would be their pick, especially considering that Arvell Reese was on the board. I thought all right, makes a ton of sense. Get a guy that can play multiple roles, can rush the passer for Robert Saleh's defense. That surprised me. They go with a different Buckeye. They go on the offensive side of the football. And I do kind of have mixed feelings about it because I don't think that Tate is your prototypical. We talked about this 4th overall pick at wide receiver, but this is also not a prototypical draft where there was that guy available. I do think he helps out the quarterback. There's no question about that. Cam Ward last year, you just felt, and you had a great stat about this, Nate, about how he just spent long story short, spent an ungodly amount of time throwing a bunch of day 3 receivers. Yes. And you felt that. And I think Cam Ward's naturally going to be a guy who's always a risk taker, pushes the ball outside the numbers. And Tate, while again, he didn't have that prototypical alpha wide receiver role or production in college, he has a lot of alpha wide receiver 1 traits when it comes to working outside the numbers, eating up man coverage. So that was a surprise to me just because I didn't really see that coming. They were buzzed obviously to take Jeremiah Love, who went ahead of their pick. They could have gone offensive line, they could have gone defensive line, but I do our quarterback is our priority right now, and we had a just dearth of anybody who could win outside against man coverage and in the contested catch game. I mean, we're talking about Wan'Dale Robinson, Shamir DK, these guys, Alec Iomanner, another guy who's just not a contested catch wide receiver whatsoever, or really a man coverage beater. What would you say?
Cardio. That's no way to go through life, son.
Other than that, now you got a guy who can really do both for you and grow with your young quarterback.
Once I saw the totality of the Titans night, I liked it a little bit more.
Feels a lot better after the Falk pick.
Yeah, it's kind of Corey Davis-ish, where it's is this a guy that's a top 10 receiver? But it's also that's what the draft class is. I know that this whole offseason they've been saying we want to improve it. We want to give Cam Ward weapons. We want to help him out. Jeremiah Love was probably that player that came to mind for a lot of people, but Carnell Tate, this was kind of the consensus top receiver. Yeah. Again, I've compared him high end to Reggie Wayne. That's the high end, but even Reggie Wayne was a high end number 2 in a perfect world. Had a great career as that player. But Tate's just his steadiness and his hands, I think, are going to be really great for Ward. So I know what your answer is for biggest surprises. I'll get to it. So I'm going to go to Andrew's first. What was your biggest surprise?
So I would have taken his biggest surprise. However, we all, like, truth be told, would have taken his. We'll get to his in a second.
Yes.
So I went with Kenyon Sadiq. They took Mason Taylor in the second round, they being the Jets, last year. In what, like 52 or something like that?
Yep.
And so you come back and take a tight end at 16. Is he best player available? Maybe. He is not your prototypical made in the lab Colston Loveland or even Tyler Warren, for that matter, the tight ends that went in the first round. He's more Harold Fannin than he is those guys.
Yep.
Harold Fannin turned in a fantastic season, by the way. And if you were to redraft, you might take Harold Fannin in the first round.
Yeah.
Right? If you do it again from last year. It's just one of those picks you're like, okay,
right.
That's fine. But like we talked about when that pick came up, they don't necessarily have to go offensive line here. Mm-hmm. I think any defensive player would have helped. They have so many aging pieces on that defense. They went out and they threw money at Demario Davis and they threw money at who else was
Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, Minkah Fitzpatrick. All these veteran pieces where when they do get to 2027, they're likely all gone. Mm. They have the 3 number ones next year. These are like, they're placeholders seemingly for next year's team. Mm-hmm. You draft David Bailey, who is allegedly a win now. I mean, I think that's probably overplayed a little bit, but they bypass Arvell Reese. The Sadiq pick just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, we kind of...
Even though we like him as a football player for the most part.
Especially because as they came back and took Omar Cooper at the...
Right. That was kind of a...
And it's just like, now you've got a lot of pass catchers for a team that's really never been able to maximize the guy that they already have.
The Colts conundrum. We just took receiver after receiver and pass catcher after pass catcher. It's like...
like you're setting yourself up to have disgruntled players. I mean, Adonai Mitchell is a guy that came from that Colts.
Yeah, he was one of those guys.
I forgot that he was there.
Yeah, I know. And he even had flashes last year with the Jets. I knew they had to improve pass catchers, but I thought in 16 was a weird spot in this draft. The guards already kind of went, so maybe if they wanted to get away from that, and maybe it was before they wanted to start maybe the corner run or maybe look to address that position. So that's why we kind of reverse engineer. Like, oh, they went best player available. Then you look at it and you're like, huh. You know, it's like the Raiders, they took Michael Mayer in round 2. And the following year, they went Brock Bowers. Bowers is a super version of Sadiq, you know? And even Sadiq, we kind of came to on the fantasy forecast, Matt. It was like, oh, he's kind of actually, his usage might be more Dalton Kincaid-ish. Yeah. I think Sadiq's a more gritty blocker, more physical player, but it's more like he's going to be a specific player. I don't know. It just felt, I don't know. It just didn't feel like the landing spot. Maybe that's why I'm trying to.
Frank Reich is the one at the controls here. And like, I hate to keep picking on Frank.
You did pick on Frank a lot.
Seems like a nice guy.
I think there's more Frank Reich mentions on our show than probably all the other shows can be.
But at the same time, like, what's he cooking up here, you know, based on the last time we saw him in the NFL? And even, Charles, you made the point at Stanford.
Last year,
What did we see there? So just, I don't know. A lot of guys that I'd be a little concerned about if you're looking for like maximum output on this Jets offense, unless Geno Smith's about to have like a 4,500-yard season out of nowhere.
By the way, about Stanford, can I jump in real quick? I got a text from an assistant coach during the show, and I looked at it, and then we had 50 things going. I forgot to mention it. You had the number 1 overall pick from Cal and the number 2 overall pick from Stanford.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about that?
ACC
Look
schools.
at that. Yeah. No SEC schools. No Big Ten schools.
Those two. Yeah.
Those schools. Pac-12 schools.
No, ACC.
ACC.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call them.
Who knows?
Whatever they are. They're Pac-10 schools.
We're right down the street from
They're
Pasadena right
Pac-8
now.
schools.
All right. I don't know if I want to use yours as the main course or if I want to just get mine out of the way.
Let's save it for dessert.
Okay, for dessert. Okay.
No dessert over here.
I'll do mine real quick. And I know I've already talked a little bit about it. The Chiefs' 2 selections as a bit of a surprise. Not that they ended up going with, maybe Delane, but they moved up for him. Mansur Delane, corner from LSU. They also drafted Peter Woods with their second first-round pick. I thought maybe that would be, okay, now we can address receiver here. Because there was a couple on the board. I believe it would be Cooper and Boston at that point in time. Denzel Boston and Omar Cooper Jr. But they decided to go, no, we're going to get the kind of volatile defensive tackle. Interesting pairing with Chris Jones. I'm not against it. I think I'm just surprised. I don't think I pictured Peter Woods to the Chiefs. I don't think I pictured a little bit because they lost both corners, which we talked about on the show, losing both of them to the Rams. But I don't know. It was just one of those where I thought they would just give one of those spots to be an offensive splash. Like even offensive line was thrown out there because like Josh Simmons, like sketchiness, but they didn't, of course, because Simmons is good when he's out there. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just maybe surprised. Not that I do not like it. I like the moves. I really do. Just surprised that both those guys end up with the Chiefs.
You know this ends with Zach Branch being picked at 40.
It was just,
it's so
fast, you know?
Man.
Just got arrested.
Hey. Wrongfully arrested.
I mean,
wrongfully arrested.
Of all the charges.
I agree. I'm just saying if we're playing the trends,
Right.
I'm on your side about that.
No, my friend Greg Rosenthal tweeted, I think, it's the only time a player has looked better after a police report.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened right
Something
there.
like that. And by the way, I'm going to say this as not a large human. When I saw Zachariah Branch at the combine, I was like, wow.
Zachariah Twig.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
He's not a big person.
He is not. But
Yeah, I'm sure he blocked the sidewalk though.
another a team once in this draft drafted a Georgia quarterback that did have some trouble.
Yes.
Speaking of Georgia players getting in trouble, that was the Rams. And tonight they selected another SEC quarterback.
Yeah.
And Charles, this was your biggest surprise of the night.
I think Sean McVay might have been a little surprised too.
I think he was too.
I bet you he wasn't surprised.
Well, if he wasn't surprised, he could have done better work on his poker face.
Oh my goodness! You know, like the hands in the pockets.
Yeah,
pockets.
He was more surprised and like, wow, we just did that.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised, you know. Maybe not that he didn't know what they were going to do, but I don't get this pick. It's so far away from what they have at quarterback and what's been proven to work at quarterback.
Right.
You know, we were joking about it during the season when Arch Manning was starting to ascend. Oh, just give me the big athletic guy that's accurate. That's none of what Ty Simpson has. You know,
right.
It's an 0 for 3 there. Maybe he's accurate like when he's healthy, but ultimately it's just not a rare skill set, which is what you're trying to find in the first round. You go to Mendoza at the first overall pick. He's got athleticism. He's got some real arm strength. He's got the accuracy. He's got the size. It's a presentable number 1 overall pick. This is so far away. Like physically, he's close. Ty Simpson's closer to Stetson Bennett than he is Matthew Stafford.
Yep.
And no one thinks Stetson Bennett is the franchise quarterback. And I know that Ty Simpson's a better player, but you have to look at ceiling here. And another thing that I found interesting during the discourse is people like, oh, well, Ty was hurt last year. You're not going to get hurt in the NFL? Like,
therein lies the rub.
Bigger, faster, stronger players that are hard to play against. Like, that's a concern. And the offensive line could use some work with the Rams. Like, we thought they were going to pick a tackle here. So I don't get it from a skill set perspective. Honestly, I don't really get it from an offensive fit perspective, considering how much Sean has loved to push the ball downfield since he got Stafford. You really want to start doing that with Ty Simpson? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I see like a coherent vision between the coaching staff and the front office here.
Well, the difference is too when they picked Stetson Bennett, they picked him to be a backup.
Right.
Yeah, right.
He was going to be your valuable championship winning backup that we could put in there and not have to go through the John Wolford thing again or the Bryson Hopkins thing again. This is our stable backup that we could rely on. You draft Ty Simpson at 13 as the guy that you're eventually going to toss the keys to.
Yeah.
Much different scenario.
Yes. And you can make the argument that, okay, now he gets to sit behind Stafford because his lack of starts is an issue, Ty Simpson's. But like Chuck is saying, and this is what we talked about on the show and what I talked about throughout the process, you can find the skill set of Simpson fairly on a regular rate in the draft. Yeah. Then when I say that, I mean the tier of this type of player, the high end, bridge starter, the spot starter, the high-end backup types. Mac Jones is a guy that always comes to mind. Jacoby Brissett is maybe a name that comes to mind. Those guys, again, don't have those high-end tools that lift the ceiling of your team. Yes, when you have a good ecosystem, oh, yeah, we can get this working. This is the Shanahan system has had a lot of success with this, the Jimmy G's of the world. And you could say, oh, it could be Brock Purdy, who is Mr. Irrelevant, mind you. You don't take that skill set. Jimmy G, round 2. A guy that Simpson can maybe become is Kirk Cousins because of his size and everything. Round 4, not 13. Because even if you just look at the list, and I did this on the live show, of the top performing players, we can do top 10 quarterback hierarchy, whatever, just even stat-wise. It's a bunch of big dudes, maybe not tall, but thick, a bunch of rocket arms and a bunch of good athletes. Some guys, all of them.
Yeah.
So, and the thing that, last thing is that the little scheme fit thing, that is such a dumb argument to me because that's more about athleticism and more about balance than anything, and footwork that you can teach, as opposed to just like, oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah, it's easily translatable, but it's more about skills and traits that you can translate to that. So like that, even that argument is hogwash to me.
What do you do here then? You know?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. He's got a good arm, but it's not, again, and he's a good enough athlete. Like he's a pretty good athlete. He really is. But at 210 max, I'm not running him on design runs more than once a game and like a high leverage third down or red zone. I'm not building the offense around him.
Stafford's not running design runs either.
But again, now we're getting a lesser version of a pocket quarterback with probably a lesser roster coming up.
And eventually, those bills will come due. And I think the other part of this too, like I think from a system fit perspective, the argument probably comes from like when Simpson was on last year, he was really ripping throws over the middle of the field. I say this as somebody who, when charting Jeremy Bernard, I was like, I can watch this guy run dig routes all day long, just like dig route. And Ty Simpson was hitting those. He's not the only quarterback in the world that can do that. Like you can find that. And I think if
Desmond Ritter.
Right. If you say so.
He was ripping those digs. I bought it.
God help him what the results were.
I know.
I mean, now if I'm to psychoanalyze Sean McVay and just the weirdness of the press conference, because it was weird. If you guys have seen it, if you've seen the clips, it's
body language.
It's got to be one of the least enthusiastic. Like we just drafted quarterback in the first round.
It's not the Cole Strange presser.
I was just thinking that. Yes, with our laughs.
So if I'm to psychoanalyze that, I think that we think about these play callers and, as if they're like, they want the extension of themselves on the field, like just to get out there and be the joystick and like point, like shoot where I point essentially. But I think a lot of these guys really reach like their true nirvana when they find somebody who makes the playbook come alive and can create when they don't have to, like Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams this last year. Even Ben Johnson, who is the most like details stickler, like my playbook type of stuff, he really even would kind of come alive when Caleb would make these improvisational moments, like, yeah, it was a great play call by me, right? And it's like, I think these guys want, whether they admit it or not, actually do want like someone to bring more life to their playbook. I just don't think, like Matthew Stafford has done that. Matthew Stafford did that already for this team after replacing Jared Goff, and it kind of feels like they're going back to their previous version here.
And I think just dynamic plays and explosive plays are the name of the game. A lot of the explosive plays, they get that, and a lot of them in that McVay offense. And I don't think it's McVay's pick, but that's in structure. It's great, Puka Nacua. It's great design. What do you do when you don't have that? And that's why you need the guys that can carry more weight. Yeah, it's just. And of course we had Charles Robinson, who came on and reported also, hey, like that Les Snead made a little promise like to these family that, hey, we like him in the first round. It's like, did he just write a check? Then also he went, I have to cash this now. Like his butt couldn't cash. And he's like, I got to take him. I guess I made this. It's the Snead Alabama thing is very real. He has a real keenness to players from the state of Alabama that play in those schools, not just Auburn, but Alabama. He likes the scrappy. They had Wolford for a while. They've had Stetson Bennett for a while. I don't know, man. It's very, very rich to me. It's something I thought they could have done.
He likes SEC guys.
He loves it. Loves those guys. Yes, I know. There is something to that, but
because I think the question I have is, people. I've heard people who are in favor of this pick say, "Oh, well, we tend to treat quarterbacks like when we talk about them in drafts as if they're kind of all the same." Like if we get this first round rookie, he's
a first rounder. He is good now.
He's a first round pick. He's a first round quarterback. So we got to give him an O-line, a receiver. No, sometimes you take a bad player in the first round and it just doesn't work out. But what I think is interesting is like when people say, oh, well, he's going to sit behind Stafford and we're going to mold him. Mold what into what is the question? Because right now the skill set of someone who couldn't beat out Jalen Milroe, could not beat him out. Nick Saban spoke about this on College Game Day. He chose Jalen Milroe over Ty Simpson multiple times, even as Jalen Milroe was struggling. So it's not like this is some guy who had walked into Alabama and had the world handed to him. He had to fight and earn it and fail multiple times to finally get a chance, and it went, okay.
Yeah. And the sitting thing is tough too, man, because so we're going to get to the end of 2026 and this guy's still going to have just 15 starts on his record. Yep. And like, okay, what if Stafford sticks around after 2026?
Right.
If we in 2027, we still got the 15 starts on the record. Like that's it. It's just like a very limited resume to work off here.
You're gonna have a guy that, in essence, if he doesn't play this year at all, would have played like 1 year in the last 4.
Yeah, since high school.
Yeah,
we'll play one season.
I know, and it doesn't have a frame that you can add more weight to. So it's even like that. I have limitations, and if your coach's kid you sometimes want to take the wild horse or whatever and go, okay, we can mold this, like you mentioned too. Like, what are you molding? All right, well, he's already tapped out. He's a coach's kid that's been designed in this understanding system. So like even the things that are appealing, it's already kind of tapped out and everything. Yeah. But yeah, it's an
interesting one.
I'm very interested to see how this unfolds. And it's a big bet that they made. So we are going to take our first break and we'll come back with a few more superlatives from round one. See you guys in a sec. All right, we are back. And a few more thoughts from round one. We're going to get to our favorite fit of team and player selection, however you want to put it. Matt, I'll start with you again.
I'm going to tap into some Panthers home.
There you go.
Here. Monroe Freeling to the Carolina Panthers, man. I loved this pick for them. Look, Ike Ekwonu has flashed the ability to be a good starting left tackle, but still never was a complete player in any sense of the word, and now he's coming off of this major injury. Freeling obviously is still a little bit of a project in some way too. Like he's still a developing player. You talked about this, Charles, when he got picked. You're like, if you had told me this, a year ago, I would have never believed it. Right. At the same time, though, he really improved in the back half of the year. Obviously, all the athletic tools are there, and this is a team that I think is still really incentivized to surround Bryce Young with no excuses essentially here. If I'm them, I'm still evaluating whether this guy is my long-term quarterback or not. Having a guy that can come in here and potentially be a really high-end left tackle, I think makes all the sense for them in the world. When Dave Canales at the league meeting talked about 3 positions, which was kind of crazy that he just said this, 3 positions we're looking at in the first round: tight end, wide receiver, safety. I'm like, safety I get. Again, to come back to the Jets point, they've already got too many guys that they're not maximizing on the roster as it is. They definitely do need some more threats there, but to spend 3 first-round picks at wide receiver or pass catcher in a row.
There's no rule against it.
There's no rule against it. But
Matt Dillon line of thinking right there.
Right. It's like, well, look at the hit rate so far. It's like Tedero McMillan looks really good. Xavier Legette, he's not even as good as Jalen Coker, who was the undrafted free agent in that very same class. So I kind of like
up to get him.
Yeah, you don't have to remind me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was not a fan of the pick at the time. So here, just seeing them prioritize the trenches, which is something that they did when Canales got hired there. I think doubling down on that is a smart move for them.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the offensive tackle pairings in the second half. Spoilers for mine as well, but Freeling's my OT1. Love him if you get him at 19, the guy that I think is a top 10 talent. I like your point about Icky, who is injured right now, serious injury. They have some other guys that can play as well at tackle right now. But I always thought Icky could be a dynamic guard, maybe pump inside too. And you might just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I mean, potentially if all things go right. All right, Chuck, what's your favorite player team fit in the first round?
Yeah, I got to go Caleb Banks, Minnesota. I mean, because I was
the shoulder back.
Of course you were.
I was like, whew.
I know.
Look, I was scared because I was like, man, if this guy doesn't,
we had it in a
good staff, I have no chance of not looking like a moron, because
you've been beating this drum pretty hard.
But then you know what, you ascribe to the Tyler Creator tweet and says, I could just log out. This stuff is not real.
And you said that you stood on the table for him on the Yahoo Fantasy Forecast, which trillions of people listen to.
Really? Trillions.
Trillions. Yeah, trillions. Big numbers.
But I mean, this is a team that I don't like. This might sound crazy just because of how well the Vikings defense has done over the past few years. But I can make an argument he is the most talented player on that defense now, just in terms of raw physical talent and upside for the future. Because I think what's so impressed about what Brian Flores has done is I don't think they have many good players on defense. Right. Guys that you could pull from another scheme and just drop them in. What Brian Flores does and how meticulous the game plan is, where every single person is, it's incredible, but that's hard to do every week. So it helps to have a guy that at least you can squint and say, man, if we can just teach him how to finish and maybe rush the pass a little bit better, we're talking about a top 10 defensive tackle, which is something you don't have to meticulously game plan for, where every single play he's in the right gap. I think if they can figure that part out, which I would bet Brian Flores to be able to at least make progress on it, I think it's a big boom hit for them, potentially.
It's the same discussion of where we were just saying with Ty Simpson going, well, I want a quarterback that can do things outside the scheme. You're talking about Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. That's Caleb Banks for Flores going I can get these guys slanting and doing this crazy stuff, and we get these TFLs and all that. But sometimes you need a guy that can just win. Yeah. It's nice today. You can just sometimes, I don't have to scheme this up. I can just run them straight. So we thought D tackle is more alive for the Vikings, I think, than some other people. And I The Banks is a guy. I had him, I think, at 28, 29. You had him even higher. Super talented player. That's what they even are talking about. They're like, he's a top 10 guy when he's healthy. So we'll see how this foot is and everything. Andrew, what about you? Favorite player, team fit?
I'm going to go with Caleb Downs, and it's more favorite player. It's more safest pick than it is team fit necessarily. Jerry Jones said afterwards that there were two guys that he would have traded up for. He refused to name the second. But he said one of them obviously was Caleb Downs. It was a small move, modest price. You go from 12 to 11. He's the safest guy in this draft. If Nick Saban and Ryan Day are both telling you he could have played in the NFL as a freshman and sophomore, in the SEC and in the Big Ten, he could play in the NFL at whatever age he is now, 21. He's a leader. He's sharp. He's got a football family. He's going to make your run defense better as well. It is a safe pick for a team that badly needs any defensive contributor it can get. And he has star power as well, which is significant there in Dallas. He was one of the few total star names in this draft, even though Arvell Reese went higher and Sonny Styles went higher and Carnell Tate went higher. This was the keep it in the fairway guy. And they kept it in the fairway. It's a beautiful shot off the tee, and I don't think he can go wrong.
One of the most striking Caleb Downs moments that I remember, and this is Georgia fan bias, but after Alabama beat Georgia in Nick Saban's final year in the SEC title game to go to the playoff where they lost to Michigan, after the game, Kirby Smart makes a beeline to Caleb Downs because he knew obviously he and Nick are close, so he knew Nick was about to retire. So he makes a beeline to Caleb Downs. He's like, hey, you and me, we're in this together. Kirby was looking at it like, man, I might have Caleb Downs and Malachi Starks in the same defense for a season. And then Ohio State dropped the bag right at the last second. And but you get to see, like, even in the moment where Kirby had his playoff dreams dashed, he's like, where is Caleb Downs? I need to find him. And I think that speaks to his talent level.
I got to interview him, but I mean, just watch him. He's so smart. He solidifies them. And like they needed, if they couldn't get a linebacker, which I think Styles was maybe the other guy they were interested in, Sonny Styles, someone along that spine of the defense. And I think he's a great fit for this defensive coordinator too. How they rotate the safeties down. He gets to stay between the hashes or stay between the numbers. I just like this a lot because even like you can argue what are his high end traits or anything. It's like, I don't care. This guy's going to make everyone else around him better. It's like drafting a really high drafted center for your O-line. It's like, yeah, okay, this isn't sexy, but he's going to just really just make everyone else better and just calm everyone down. And I think with this defensive coordinator, what this defense is going to do, that's just going to help them out top.
Do you think he would have fallen if he worked out at the combine?
I think this is kind of where his range was no matter what.
If he didn't put up, he's not Kyle Hamilton. Right. Kevin Stefanski called Kyle Hamilton once Wemby playing nickel. He's not Nicky Perry. That's perfect. He's not Derwin James.
Nope.
And he chose not to, but if he had gone to the combine, and it was kind of like,
Yeah, I mean, Hamilton ran a 4.6 and change, but he was also 6, like you said, gigantic and everything.
Remember the preseason when there was that, I think maybe the first preseason, or was it a joint practice where there was a coverage bust and somebody was running behind Kyle Hamilton for a touchdown? And and Ravens Twitter went nuts.
Yes.
About why on earth did we draft this guy?
Oh, it was like week 2 against the Dolphins game.
Yeah, because he got burned.
We're getting fried at the second half.
And now Mike McDonald's the Super Bowl champion defensive play caller and everything with the Seahawks. And after that game, I was like, oh boy, can I even guard anyone this year? But I even said this on the show is that when going through the history of first round safeties, like Minkah Fitzpatrick is one. He's a little bigger than Downs, but I think as far as athleticism and everything and the intelligence, like that's a guy I compare, and he went pick 11 as well. So it's like, I don't know, this felt like his range. Also a former Saban disciple. On top of that, another guy that started as a true freshman for Nick Saban. So there's some parallels, I think, to that. All right, as a my favorite fit, it's going to be an offensive lineman. I actually thought I had Caleb Lomu here, but I have Max Ihenachor to the Steelers. I have Caleb Lomu. I have both. I can't see it right now. I was trying to remember off the top of my head.
It's late.
Yeah, I know. So I got Max Ihenachor to the Steelers. I got Caleb Lomu to the Patriots. Again, even I'll throw in Blake Miller here to the Lions as well. I think these guys, I love the landing spots for all of them. I like what the teams are doing. The Patriots make sense with the A.J. Brown pending trade. That'll happen June 1st. It seems like it's pretty locked in stone now. Thank God I finally used a source and reported something that actually came out. All right, good. Can talk to you guys again. But also I think Ihenachor, I was curious. There's that Jordan Tyson getting sniped by the Eagles just before. I thought this was a great pivot. And if they should just go, no, this was our original plan. It was going to
What did I say?
Yeah.
Jordan Tyson.
I said Jordan Tyson. Makai Lemon.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, it's like
Makai Lemon,
a
yeah.
receiver. Makai Lemon went, and that's why they moved up. The Eagles did with the Cowboys. But man, I thought this was great. They have a young, talented offensive line. They have 3 guys I really like. They're all under 25. And now whatever happens with Jones, they either have Fontenot out here, they have Iheanacho, they have talent. They have a lot of talent there. So like that. I like that for Lomu and the Patriots, who I feel like, other than what's going on with Vrabel, I do think the Patriots have had a really nice offseason.
Other than
Other than your head coach doing his thing, I really do think that the Patriots have had, I really like the free agency class, a bunch of kind of, you're talking about keeping it in the fairway. I think that's what they just have nothing but fairway and regulation over and over and over. I really do think that.
I get why the Steelers would want Makai Lemon, but I think this is a way better pick for them.
Yeah.
And like I'm a big fan of Makai Lemon's game, but you just traded assets and signed DK Metcalf to an extension. You just not really traded assets, but you pick swap to get Michael Pittman, but you gave him an extension. You bring in another receiver. Like, again, it's one of those like crowded rooms. What are the roles? I think that just leads to disgruntledness and like a lack of true identity and like a guiding force as an offense. But what is a guiding force potentially as an offense view, a kick-ass offensive line, and they've added a lot of resources to that unit here. And Broderick Jones definitely been up and down and is now dealing with an injury, so getting an Iheanacho in here I think is huge. And for the Patriots too, like, yeah, you might just stick Lomu at guard and kick everybody down a spot. Like, I think that makes a ton of sense too.
If you're gonna do the Aaron Rodgers thing again, you needed to draft an offensive line.
Not another rookie receiver.
He can't move. Can't move.
Yep.
So you gotta draft another offensive line.
It is also insane that it's April. I mean, God knows what.
I can't believe they let themselves get dragged
now
around
it's
like
April
this.
24th.
Now it's April 24th,
Yes.
and we still don't know the.
Apparently, it came out he was upset about the owner or the president was talking like so much that he was a sure thing. Oh my God, it's just like,
You're 41 years old, bro.
just stop. Just sign. And we will be good. It will be good. You'll be able to talk.
He could have said yes by now.
Yeah. Easily. Free agency started a month ago, and they were on the same team. You could have done it before that. I know the rules.
Aaron, you watching LeBron James in these playoffs? That's what you need to do if you want that money. Let's go. Be 41 like LeBron.
Oh, there was also some awkwardness too if you're Iheanacho. Like, they were on the phone with another girl.
Yeah, but they didn't know.
They didn't know?
Hey, he just came to football 5 years ago. They're just like, yeah, sure. They had 2 first rounders, right?
That's exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, and whoever the quarterback is of the future, 27 beyond, it could be a really sick offensive line. Like, and you have Metcalf and whatever you want to say with Pittman and everything, but that's a really nice base to drop in a young quarterback, or if they want to move for a guy or something.
There's a few
like that.
teams that did that, honestly. Like, I mean, I was skeptical of what the Jets did, and obviously the Browns taking KC Concepcion. Sorry, Andrew, but it was just not my favorite landing spot in the entire world.
No, but he's also your number 2 wide receiver.
Exactly.
So stay true to your board.
Listen, I'm staying true to my board. I'm just saying when we're drafting for fantasy, I'm going to be bringing him down the board a little bit. But my point of saying that is that, like, whoever Cleveland's next quarterback is going to benefit from KC. Yeah. Whoever the Jets' next quarterback is going to benefit from those guys in there. And same thing with Pittsburgh too. Like, now you're setting up a nice ecosystem when you eventually do move to the next phase.
Or maybe they could just make it like, when Dave Grohl had the broken leg and they just put him in the throne back there and he played guitar. Remember that? For Foo Fighters, anybody?
Yes.
That's like,
I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're dropping.
Rodgers in a chair back there.
And that's it.
I mean, he basically puts himself in the chair. Yeah. He's not moving
in the chair. And once it's 2 minutes drill, then also you see him move a little bit. But yeah, I know. It's frustrating. Speaking of frustrating, let's get to our least favorite picks of round 1. Chuck, I'll start with you.
Malachi Lawrence to Dallas. Especially with Keldrick Falk still on the board. That's what made it. Like, I understand, like, kind of getting enamored with the size, speed, but man, I thought Falk was just a bit of a better player. And else is this when you look at who, like, the kind of players that Dallas already has on the edge. I just feel like a bigger body there might have been served better for what they have, especially after you trade away Odigizua to the 49ers. Mm-hmm. You're pretty thin, like, in terms of bigger bodies up front. So, Malachi Lawrence, he's got a lot of work to do, I think, in terms of being a consistent pass rusher and just a player that consistently affects the game. Because how I would describe him is like, he's a 140 hitter in baseball, but he's hitting home runs, Yeah. But a lot of the times when he's not making an impact, he's nowhere near making a play. So I think that his success this year probably relies on how good Quinnen Williams can be.
Yep.
which is true of a lot of Dallas players, which is a tough spot to be in ultimately still.
He's lucky he's going to the Cowboys, who also should have a good offense.
Yeah.
So the other team has to pass the ball. If he went to a team that's not with a lot of leads, I think he does have some run defense stuff that's why I have some more questions. That's why I was more comfortable on day 2. I thought he's more a supreme DPR type. But even then, he's a little stiff. I thought if they want to say that, he's the Nolan Smith of this defense, I don't trust Lawrence to drop in coverage. There's just like a lot where I'd be more comfortable with him a little bit later. I know where this was the range of the draft class this year, or the talent and everything, but I agree with this one where I was just like, especially with Falk there. Falk made more sense to me, especially with the need.
The Nolan Smith comp is interesting because Nolan ran a 4.3.
Correct.
That was different. Even like from what this is, that was a different
At Georgia
jump.
With production and was younger.
Yeah.
Lawrence is, a fifth-year guy. Doesn't have a lot of run production. I don't know. Just he's a supreme role player as opposed to a guy that would be more comfortable in the top 25. So, Matt, biggest or least favorite team player fit of round 1?
Yeah, mine was Akeem Mesidor to the Chargers. A lot of different things at play here. I don't know that there's necessarily like one pick, like, I would have rather them taken this guy or that guy. At that point, some of the interior offensive linemen weren't on the board anymore. But my worry with Mesidor is just that there's a lot of red flags in this profile. He's 25 years old. And as we said on the show, like, it's not about how long he's going to play or how long his career is going to be, but was the film last year when he finally had this massive season, was that overinflated because he's older and more physically stronger and developed than the guys that he's going against. I'm sure that you can line up rep by rep and be like, oh no, this is actually another guy who's close to his age. But still, when you start like nitpicking like that, that makes it complicated for a first round profile. Plus, he's coming off of an injury. Plus, it's not as if he's like an overwhelming physical specimen anyways. Sub 260, 6'3". I do just wonder if there's not a clear role for him in this defense anyways, because this is a team that plays with some of those bigger bodies on the edge. Khalil Mack, Tui is a bigger body as well, and like that's allowed them to not have to dedicate extra bodies in the box to stop the run. I don't think Mesidor is doing that for you at all. Like, he's almost not purely, but almost mostly a pass rusher. So from a fit perspective, I thought it was a little weird. And just again, overall profile wise, there are some red flags here that I think this will be pitched as like this is a safe pick for the Chargers to make. And it's not really if you actually look at the full profile.
Yeah, you agree with that, Charles?
Yeah, this is a really risky pick. And also I would say, or what I would throw out there as a question, like, is there a chance the Chargers defensive tackle room is like the worst in the league this year? They have no talent up there.
They have Tart and they got Tomlinson too. They got him, but there's a reason Tomlinson's always on a new team.
Yeah.
That's how I always put it.
T.R. Tart.
That's my guy.
Been a little up and down.
Got the money.
That's my best ability. Dude, that's my goon, man. He's the goon I like.
I feel like Mesidor is walking to a situation where he's kind of gotta be an anchor against the run right away. And I just don't know.
That was a weakness for them last year.
Right, right. I just don't know if that's possible. Like, you're really light on the edge now with Thule.
I always just think about that
Washington
game.
I was going to bring it up too.
JCM's like only big game last year when he just ran
every edge. I did a highlight of it. I think I did even a video of it. It was just like every edge got pinned and pinned and pinned. And that's
really sick. And you knew exactly what I was talking about.
That's it. Mesidor is a heat-seeking missile for the ball, and that's good and bad. Like, because he's blind, doesn't really hold up against the run at the point of attack. Do like the pass rushing chops, but I thought they could have used more of a run plugger, especially how they play defense. Yeah, that one was interesting to me. I didn't like that too much, especially with Falk on the board. Andrew, your biggest.
Is Caden Proctor, actually. And the two picks back-to-back, 12 and 13, Proctor to the Dolphins and Simpson to the Rams at 13. Those are the two where collectively when we're on the air, we both went, okay, wow. Yeah. I am always leery of a player for whom a coach does not stand on the table. DeBoer went on the radio in Cleveland a couple of weeks ago. This didn't get a lot of pub, but it was a big deal in Cleveland, talking about Ty Simpson. And he certainly said nice things, but the consensus after listening to the interview was he didn't exactly stand on the table for the guy. And Nick Saban this morning on TV didn't exactly stand on the table for Caden Proctor. When he was mocked, and a lot of people mocked him to the Browns. There are a lot of things that obviously Andrew Berry might like in the guy. fits a lot of the boxes that he likes to check. I kind of got a pit in my stomach. Not that he may not. He may be a very good player, but I feel that there is a boom or bust quotient or possibility to this guy. And to go boom or bust at 12 as your first pick with a new administration there, it takes some stones. Yeah. He could turn out great, obviously. You have a quarterback that you paid now. You want to protect said quarterback. The quarterback's going to move around a little bit. This guy, even though he caught a touchdown last year, he's not exactly your move tackle.
No.
So, I don't know. As a Browns fan, I'm glad they didn't take him.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. He has red flags. Wait, you can be too big. You can actually be too big in the NFL.
Yeah.
And man, I actually even just said, protect the quarterback. And then I realized Malik Willis runs a lot.
Yeah.
That's not usually great for a big tackle that lets a lot of speed around. And also he's playing on the right side now, which isn't the end of the world. I do like Patrick Paul a ton on the left side, but I don't know. It's just, especially with they really got their pick of the litter there. Like they started the new run of offensive linemen, more or less, but that was the guy. That was who you determined. It was like, as opposed to maybe waiting for their second first round pick and then taking Lomu. Who would have been
Blake Miller at 12.
Or Blake Miller.
If Blake Miller went at 12, I don't think anybody would have blinked.
No, and it's just a guy that has so many red flags. The fact that Nick Saban said, really, there's certain words that like scouts and coaches use that at first you're like, oh, okay, but really they're more damning than they really come across. Not a self-starter is crushing in NFL terms. He might as well just said like, this guy should be in jail. I could not.
He wasn't suggesting he's a criminal, to be clear.
No. But he's not a self-starter. And I was like, okay. And he has weight issues?
No, that's the equivalent of a football coach cursing you out.
Yes. And because if you say that, no, you see all the scouts write it down. But again, now you're going to a Dolphins team that is truly rebuilding.
Yeah.
It's going to be,
total teardown.
Total teardown. Look how many picks they have. And those guys are going to be playing a lot of, I was about to say minutes, but a lot of plays. They're going to be playing a lot. And now the guy that suffers from not being a self-starter is going to deal with Miami Heat. Not the basketball team, just the Heat of Miami. Just a lot of red flags going on right now.
And this
was mine too, by the way. We doubled down on this one. Yeah. So I was ready to rant on this one. Do you have any silver linings here?
Silver linings, I don't know, but if it all comes together, I suppose it could be a pretty cool looking run.
If it comes together,
it all comes together. Every draft pick announced. It all comes together. It could look pretty cool. I mean, Aaron Brewer obviously coming off a great year.
Yes,
you mentioned Paul was awesome. Again, if Proctor works out and they've got Devon Achane back there, Malik Willis doing some cool stuff. But at the same time, I'm also looking at this could just be a really weird, bizarro offense.
More whale than dolphin.
Yeah. It could be, though. But I think that at least Caden is a good cultural fit for the city of Miami, because if you remember, Caden transferred from Alabama back to Iowa
for about 5 minutes.
For about 5 minutes. 5 months, be precise. He went back for spring ball, but he did take that NIL money. And when he left, he went back to Alabama with that NIL money in his pocket. And
Iowa fans.
Yes, he was getting Venmo requests from Iowa fans telling him, give us that damn money back. He said no. So I'm going to root for him just for that. It's probably a red flag, but it's a green flag over here.
Why does that make him a good fit for the city of Miami?
Because it's a city full of scammers. I'm from Atlanta, okay?
I wanted to get you on the record.
It's full of scammers, and that's what makes it beautiful.
And top it off, the OC's Bobby Slick, what was the one thing that happened in Houston? His only time calling plays was the O-line deteriorated.
Fell apart. And they couldn't, and this was the crazy thing too, and obviously Slug was on the staff at the time, but Miami leaned into some real gap concepts, getting these guys on the move and stuff like that, which just never happened when he was in charge in Houston. They just basically could never get off the Shanahan grades. That was it. So now, are they going to keep some of those tendencies when he was the pass game coordinator on the staff last year? Or is it going to look a lot of like it looked in Houston, where it's a lot of zone? And I don't think Proctor fits in.
And the O-line coach is a college guy / 49ers experience under Shanahan. So
you always hit the college guys.
You know what's funny though? We're probably better if he stayed at Iowa. If he had
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely would have. I know. Well, that's actually the O-line coach at Bama was the guy that had one of the worst coach O-lines last year under the Seahawks. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to take our last break, and then we'll come back with a few more draft thoughts, superlatives, all that good stuff. See you guys in a sec. All right, we are back. We're going to round it up with a few thoughts for day 2. Matt, who's the most intriguing player on the board for day 2, I should say?
I'm just going to play the hits the rest of this show. Denzel Boston is the most intriguing player. I thought there was a chance that he could go in the second round and not the first. I thought there were 6 wide receivers in the first 2 tiers in this class. There's just a chance that one of those guys was going to slip. Whether it was, I think the 3 most likely candidates were probably KC, Cooper, or Denzel Boston. It ends up being Denzel Boston, and I think that makes the most sense. I would have taken him in the first round. I thought he was a worthy first-round player, but some people don't like those bigger body, what they see as non-separation X receivers. I think that Boston gets open. Like, I don't think he is in the same class as a Drake London or a Tedero McMillan. These other guys be like, oh, he can't separate. I'm like, those guys could get open. I think Boston can too. Again, he's not that level of prospect, but he is in that family of wide receivers to me. So I'd like to, there's 2 teams at the top of the second round now that they've traded back in Buffalo and San Francisco, not in that order. I think either one of them would be great fits for him. I don't think he will last long into day 2. There's a lot of good parts of his game. Yeah.
The 2 players that I kind of came to comparing Boston, I did like him, was as the high comparison. It was Cortland Sutton, who went in round 2, and Musa Muhammad, who went in round 2. So it's kind of, this is a player profile, and I get it. He's not a burner. And then
other people have compared him to Michael Pittman, another second round receiver.
Another second round guys. It's this.
And I think these are the same family.
They are. They're all the same kind of similar archetype. So kind of didn't totally shock me. And we did so many mocks. And after every mock, there was always one receiver not in there.
Yeah.
We've had Tyson not in there, Cooper not in there, Lemon. We just every time. And that's also what started leading to me. I was like, man, I think a lot of offensive linemen are going to go. Yeah. Because we started doing them. You start kind of seeing the team needs. So wasn't shocked, like you said, that one maybe didn't end up. I agree with Boston as a good one to look at for day 2 early. Chuck, what about you?
Caden McDonald, nose tackle, Ohio State. I thought he was going to go round 1 just because he had like a rare profile for a nose tackle prospect. He hit 65 tackles last year, 9 TFLs, 3 sacks, a couple forced fumbles. I mean, that's really unusual when you're just talking about just rare counter production. He had almost as many solo tackles as Arvell Reese did last year, 35 to 31, which is crazy for a 331 player. Right. 2 gap.
Yeah.
So I think this is a guy who's got crazy upside. And the fact that he didn't go round 1, man, this could be a real steal for someone.
I was surprised. I actually was kind of like, I wouldn't say offended, but when people are like, it's a down defensive tackle class, I'm like, what? There's 2 in the round 1. I thought McDonald was the one that was going to go in round 1. And actually, I talked to a couple of people at teams, and McDonald was their defensive tackle 1. So I kind of was surprised he ended up being 3. I'm not totally shocked, but I agree. I think he's a good player too. I'm excited to see where he ends up. Andrew? I'm
going to go Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the Toledo safety. He's got the height, kind of narrow framed, plays a lot of the deep post. But if you turn on his turnover tape, which I went down that rabbit hole a couple of nights ago.
It's so fun.
The way he gets the ball out and forces fumbles. And it's not just all the peanut punch. A lot of it's like chicken winging guys or coming in with the shoulder. He gets the ball out. And it's not, hey, stand him up and he comes and gets it out. He gets that ball out, and you can't teach that. Well, you can, but you either have it or you don't sometimes. And he has it.
Yep, a literal nose for the ball. He actually has it. He and
it's not the pick production. It's the fumble.
No, just being around the ball.
Forced fumble
he hits like his plays. His best plays are so cool. I couldn't decide whether I want him or Thieneman higher. I kept chickening out, put them next to each other. I was like, scheme fit.
Hedge ranking, baby.
Yeah, that's what it was. And the comparison I had for him was almost like a Diet Coke Cam Chancellor.
Diet Coke.
Yeah, Cam Chancellor, like a skinnier, because he's tall too.
Right.
Cam was 6'3", same with McNeil-Warren. Big hitters. McNeil-Warren can kind of get out of control when he's kind of coming up with tackles, but I really liked him. I'm not shocked that he lasted till round 2, but I don't think that's an indictment on him, if that makes sense. I think it's more just like how the chips fell for these picks and everything. Talking about that, mine most intriguing players is the Tennessee corners. I'll put it that way. Jermon McCoy, who fell because of his injury, because I do think he has top 15 ability, top 10 ability. I think I'm not just the only one saying that. I think the league thinks that way too. And then Colton Hood, his teammate, who did play last year. They'd never played together, funnily enough. But yeah, Hood got a lot of talent. I like his ability. I viewed him more as a man guy, a man coverage player. Again, I think it's just more where these kind of players win. The only couple corners went round one. I think teams win more beef, but I like both of these guys, and I think they could be nice quality stars. McCoy could be more, just depends on his health, but not shocked that both of them fell to day 2. All right, let's wrap this up. Bold prediction for day 2. Andrew, I'm going to start with you. We're going to snake order on this.
Okay, so this is bold, and honestly, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm going to roll it out there nonetheless. I'm going to say no running backs on Friday night.
I think this is live.
I think it's live.
I think
No
it's
running
live.
backs on Friday night.
You got 2 rounds to go through, a lot of picks, but
Over-under is like 1.5.
yeah.
That's crazy, you know?
Compared to last year.
Any year, I feel like.
Scouting running backs last year was exhausting because I was watching so many guys, and I was like, man, this is another round 3 guy. This is another round 3 guy.
You don't go spend money on a running back, go get a day 2 back.
Yeah. And then now we're...
And there's really not that many like open spots either. Like when I was trying to pair these guys to teams and stuff, it's like the Seahawks filled their need tonight with Jadarian Price. And they're like one of the few teams that's a clear runway to a starting running back. Minnesota probably needs a back.
Yeah.
Denver might want like a banger back to complement RJ Harvey for when J.K. Dobbins eventually misses time. But like, you need depth in the room, of course, but you could maybe just say, hey, kick that down to round 4 if there's only a couple of guys. I don't know.
It's more complimentary guys, like as opposed to like maybe, oh yeah, for sure this guy's a 50-50 split guy.
Last year you had 2 running backs go in the top 7, I think, round 2.
Yeah,
you had Quinshon and Travion.
Yes.
What, 36 and 38 or 36 and 39, something like that.
Yeah, Caleb Johnson in round 3,
Right.
RJ Harvey late round 2. Like guys, like that's what I was going through this year's class. I scoured because I was like, who's my guy going to be? And I also, this is a big thought in this whole draft class is I'm not dying on any hills in this draft class. There are going to be no takes where you see Nate Tice victory lapping or going like, oh, I meant this when I said this. It was like, oh, I did Mendoza and I got out of here. But I really do think that like running back wise, it's just a lot of like, oh yeah, he's fine. I have to squint, but like, I don't know, like an Emmett Johnson. Round 4, these guys are all true round 4 guys as opposed to last year. Like Scadaboo was like, I want to say it was like my running back 10, and he might have been like 3 in this class. You know, like it's just how these kind of classes go. But yeah, if you needed one, last year was the year to get it. So it makes sense why Walker.
Was that before or after drinking out of a shoe on Twitch?
I knew that going in. You know, with him, you know, you watch him play just once, and you just go, I know what you're about. Yeah. I kind of there's not much to squint at there. So you got that one, Andrew. Chuck, let's go with you. Biggest prize in round 2 or bold prediction. I'm sorry, in day 2.
I'm gonna go with. It's funny because I read a headline once that has stuck in my head where it was after the combine, and there's a headline that said, "Top 10 quarterback." Green, goes out of the combine, right? And it was top 10 in the sense that Arkansas quarterback Taylor Green is one of the top 10 quarterback prospects in this draft, not a top 10 pick. Correct. But headline SEO manipulation is funny. But I do think when you look at this class now, Ty Simpson and obviously Mendoza are already off the board. If you're not a Nuss guy or a Carson Beck guy, you might just close your eyes and say, let's just take that guy who's 6'6", 230, runs a 4.3 with a rocket arm. Is he good? No, because if he was, he would have been picked today. You know, he would have been the first pick in the draft if he had like the consistency I needed. But the talent level is really, really difficult to find. And someone's going to squint and say, shoot, we don't have much to develop. Why not this guy?
Yeah, I mean,
that's my prediction.
He's got some Kaepernick to him. I have a round 4, round 5 graded on him. Like I went Nuss, Simpson, and then back in Taylor Green, but they're such wildly different animals. That's like, it's this tier. It's what you want. It's like, it's what you want at the QB spot.
Taylor Green, my comp for him was like, what if Colin Kaepernick got Men in Black mind wiped every day when he woke up? That's how Taylor. Yep. What's the place? I don't know, but I can run around and throw real far.
Oh my God.
I was trying to think of some joke on 51st dates. 51st place. Yeah, 51st place.
First place.
Oh man, no, it's a guy that tools. It's all what I'm about. That's the guy on day 3 that I've been like, if you want to take a shot, why not? This is something we've come to when we're talking about JJ McCarthy, 9, and we're talking about, well, okay, what's your and also this is Ty Simpson related. It's like, all right, this breaks right. We developed this. All right, then what do you got? Kirk Cousins plus. Yeah. Well, as opposed to like, why don't you take a shot on Richardson? Because if this hits, you know, like you got something. Kind of the same thing. Like on day 3, do I want like a Luke Altmaier, who I don't hate or anything, or do I want Cade Klubnik, or do I want Taylor Green?
And then do you have Terrell Pryor in 3 years?
That's what Terrell Pryor, like, you know,
Jordan Reed,
Joe Webb. Something like that.
Throwback.
Yeah, right. But Taylor Green
started a playoff game, guys. Come on.
Indeed, he did.
Right. No, and Green is a guy, like you said, if like he had the stuff, he'd going way higher. Even me, who's all tools, is like, not till day 3, guys, because it just has so much to work on. But, you know, it's a fun little dart throw you maybe want to take. Matt, what about you for day 2 bold prediction?
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is not really a bold prediction, but, you know, the other option was one thing we want to see. I want to see what the receiver run ends up like. I mean, listen, it's just like I said, it's almost 1 o'clock, or it is 1 o'clock. I'm just playing the
free bird.
I have 11 guys tomorrow. As I was doing on my phone, I was counting. I have 11 guys tomorrow that I think are worthy of being taken on day 2 at the wide receiver position, and it's all like different types too, which is the fun part. You have your like kind of glue guy-ish players in Antonio Williams, Jeremy Bernard. You have 2 like perimeter collegiate ball winners that I think you could kick inside of the slot, and Elijah Surratt and Malachi Fields. You've got kind of high upside dice rolls like Chris Bell or Chris Brazzle. I kind of think he might slip out of the 3rd. I think he might go on day 3, but that might be a bold prediction. Oh, Brazzle.
Chris Brown.
Oh, Brazzle might go. Yeah, Brazzle might
I think could go on day 3.
I think Chris Brown. I was like, what?
Well, I wouldn't take him on day 2.
Brazzle, the league is
bold prediction would be that like Brazzle does not come on
there's
day
character
2.
stuff there. That
character stuff. The media is always higher on the Tennessee guys out of the Looney Tunes offense than.
Dude, I want to love the traits, but
there's a lot there.
Yeah,
there's a lot there. Yeah. And you also like have like small explosive separators that I'm going to fall for, like the Cyrus Allens and the Deion Burkses. So
you like Burks a lot. How about when you had DJ on and you were just like,
I didn't pay him to say that either. I you know, he was into it. So there are dozens of us Deion Burks guys.
DJ doesn't get money anyways.
Shane,
how about when Purdue had Deion Burks, Tyrone Tracy, Max Clare, Dylan Thieneman, Nick Scorton.
There was like 5 people I've talked to this year that they're like, oh, you just got to watch the Purdue tape on a bunch of different projects. What is going on?
All their film at Purdue was probably better than what they showed in the last year. Like it's kind of that was Scorton was the craziest watch. Because I remember you going like, why'd you have him so high? I was like, he was awesome at Purdue. I don't know. Like, and that's what he looked like at the Panthers this year. It was much more Purdue than A&M. Yeah. So I know.
I did a Purdue Ohio State game a couple of years ago for NBC for Peacock, and you look back on the roster for Purdue.
Yeah.
NFL guys all over the place.
And real speed and all that stuff. I know.
Deion Burks is the next one.
Deion Burks is part of that team.
That's so funny.
Matt Harmon fell for it again. Small separator.
Oh, God. Denzel Boston going around, too. I'm sure some people are just going, they're big guys. All right, for me, bold take for day 2 is a QB that's already on a roster gets traded. So that's an Anthony Richardson.
So you're trying to get Tanner McKee.
That's a Tanner McKee to Arizona to Pittsburgh. Tanner McKee to the Steelers. Their AFC NFC trade. I mean, come on. Like not to say don't have to worry about division or conference there. You know, that's the one right there. No, McKee, something like that. I think the 49ers made it clear that Mac Jones is untouchable and everything. So, you know, maybe just one of those day 2 quarterback trades or backup quarterback trades, whatever you want to call it. So, bold takes. Day 2, round 2. It'll be fun. We got 64 picks. No, more than 64 picks.
A lot more.
I was going to say a lot
more. We got comp picks as well. Fitzy will be driving that ship tomorrow night.
I'll be sitting down with Spencer Fano.
After he comes from the Raiders bar, which was rolling.
You think he's still there?
No. Should we go to the Raiders bar now?
We should go to the Raiders bar. How far away is that? No.
I was going to work this into the show, and I totally spaced. How about it's my first time here. You guys have been here before, right? At the Yahoo Studios in New York.
You
obviously have.
Not since pre-pandemic, like a different world.
You know, we have live beer taps in the kitchen.
I did notice that.
Right now, though.
No, I mean, they weren't this afternoon before the show.
They were about after our last
when Charles explored it after the show and found they were locked.
I was wondering where you guys were.
Before the show they were on, I did not partake.
No.
I was thinking of leading our show by saying, hey, it's great to be here. By the way, we have beer.
I know, 2 taps. multiple tabs. I know.
Yeah.
We also,
day 2 we'll get a little weird.
I was watching. It's almost, what time is it right now? One. Sorry, guys.
10.
Yeah.
I was watching LA to Marino, that 30 for 30 doc on the flight in here, and
Marvin and his notebook.
Yeah. So
Yes.
1983 draft time started at 8 a.m. East Coast time. They wrapped up because they go, round 1 commences at 11:37 a.m. Ends at 11:37 a.m.
In the Marriott ballroom. Right?
We could go to brunch.
Yeah.
Brunch after.
Oh, when the Bears almost didn't get their pick in, like that, and you got Jets fans hanging over, yelling at them, and then that's not like this, or you got us in here in the office watching it.
Getting soft as a country,
What was it? 400,000 people, 300,000 people a night in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, how much too many?
Wow,
it is pretty crazy. Like, I mean, I was thinking about this when the lady was cheering for like Peter Woods, like some Chiefs fan. I was like, there's just like no way any of these people know who any of these human beings are, and they're losing their mind over it.
That's why I love the lineman picks. Is just all these crazy fans that have been waiting like 8 hours. I saw the pictures. They were on Pittsburgh, and then and it's like someone gives a bad answer on Family Feud. All right, yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah, they really got to work themselves into it, and then by the end of then they're just fired up.
And they just read, they listen to their pod, and they're good to go. But thank you, everyone that shows interest in the draft, for making this possible. So we appreciate it. Everyone that checked out our live coverage of round 1. We got more live coverage of day 2. 3 of us here, Fitzy. More Charles Robinson, maybe, I think, as well. Yes, we got Charles Robinson as well. Thank you, Andrew, for
thanks for having me. Truly,
no, honestly, it was so much fun tonight.
I really do mean that. Like, it's awesome to work with you guys. Finally, listening to you guys is one thing. Working with you guys is another thing.
Appreciate it, Andrew. No, that was an absolute blast. I mean, you watching you work was truly special and a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. You're pro's pro.
Likewise.
No, but it's not like the Olympics, huh? Football 301 draft coverage, Olympics, football 301 draft coverage. Post show.
What if I told you I love them both?
Oh, come on. The real gold zone.
Come on.
This is the real gold zone right here.
Both.
Good note to end on.
Make sure to check out the inside coverage, Yahoo Fantasy Forecast. Chuck is falling asleep. Football 301. Thanks to the entire production team. Oh, my God. Scheduling, just staying up with us on the East Coast time.
Oh, and we're all back together Saturday after we get done.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
We are back Saturday.
So, yes. Pod then.
Yes. So we'll talk even more there about the 500 picks that the Browns have.
Pro. You guys will
just doing my job. It's like you should be hosting. I really appreciate you guys are sitting here and everybody here should be rounded up. I'm getting the red light, getting the green light. Let's go. Thank you all. Like, subscribe, Football 301, Inside Coverage, Yahoo Fantasy Forecast, all the good stuff. See you guys next time.
Good night now.